Hey, and welcome to Minecraft 4th anniversary questions and answers. I can't speak English, but that's completely fine because we're MRCL, aren't we? For this event, we are going to be battling each other on Arena while answering your questions you've asked on the forum, and you may ask additional questions on the YouTube chat. With me on the call today, we have most of the higher staff. Sky's missing, which is unsurprising. If you have something to say, like a hi, now would be a great time for that.
Hello. Is that what you wanted me to say?
Exactly.
Hello.
Cat says hey.
Kaz says hey. Since Kaz doesn't use a microphone, we all know
He
that.
doesn't have vocal cords.
Yeah, he's basically a voiceless man. He'll be typing in Minecraft, and I'll read out his responses. So that's just how that's gonna go. Yeah.
Alright, I'm just gonna start Arena and then people can start asking questions.
How was your sleep? Yeah, how was our sleep? Did any of us get any sleep before this? Were you so excited?
I actually slept pretty
Yes.
well.
Eugene, you didn't join the arena properly.
Follow this path to start the tutorial. Why is there a tutorial?
I'm
stuck.
God. Arena broke. Just,
classic MRCL moment.
Real quick.
Nirk wishes MRCL a happy birthday.
It's actually, I mean, birthday is kind of... Because this was when I created a Discord server, but back then, not even then was there.
Yeah.
Kind of controversial what the first actual public release was.
How do I get out of the tutorial?
Tutorial leave, I think? It
There
says
we
it
go.
in the chat. It's possible that I think Arena is broken.
Yeah, I'm back at factory.
Nujin just blatantly cheating. Hang on, am I
I just get
blatantly cheating?
observe
Just teleport
because I'm not even like.
I don't think I should be here because I have like settings things.
Yeah, just do /leave minigame.
/leave minigame, yeah. You're not in a minigame. Cool.
Oh, okay, well. Then just
Teleport the fuck out of here. Yeah, I got you.
okay, I got.
Who do I teleport to that I get out? Probably Kaz. No.
Why is there a giant cave under the arena? Actually, that's a good question for Oscar or Matrix if they want to answer it. Matrix, why is there a giant cave under the arena?
You may unmute yourself and answer the question if you feel like
I
it.
think Matrix can unmute himself. I think Matrix talks anyways, but he could type in chat.
He's fighting currently.
Well,
we'll get back to that later on.
okay, hang on.
Since I'm just kind of standing around, I can go ahead and answer some questions, I guess.
Underground was our idea, but Oscar executed it. So Oscar, why is there a giant hole under the arena? Or a cave, not hole.
Oscar's not in the PC.
Oh.
Hang on, I'll ping him. Whoops, that's the wrong chat. Okay, let's go arena again.
Yeah, can you teleport me there?
Just, oh my god.
I'll teleport to you. Got it.
No, oh my god, you need to actually...
Well, how did I do that?
It's the ice one, right? Again. Wait, is that the only one we have?
Yeah, well, there's Speed Arena, but no, it's different.
There we go. All right. Well,
Okay.
I'll start going through some questions on the spreadsheet that we've got.
Yeah.
So our first question is, why was development so slow throughout 2020?
Who's gonna answer it? Tell us, 10. You're the moderator.
I
Oh,
think.
Oscar answered.
Oh, all right. Well, Oscar answered for the cave question that it's basically an area to hide and rest a bit, but it's also a way to balance some classes. Different classes have different entrances. So there you have it. That's why there's a giant cave under the arena.
I mean,
Yeah.
dev was slow in 2020 because
Was there a lot of
life
development going
happened.
on?
Well, not until the last part of the year.
Yeah.
At the early
Also,
part of the year,
2020 was pretty quiet, because like that's around the time when COVID came out, and most of us had life-changing things going on, such as moving and new schools and other
It's
stuff.
also a little bit. There's also a very clear difference between what we were doing last year and the year before and what we're doing this year. We actually asked on Discord for your feedback about how we release events. Because before that, we would be really focused on creating big updates that push a lot of content at once. So we were thinking about making a Lyoko update with powers and vehicles and new Sector 5, but because we're all volunteers and have stuff to do in our lives, since we changed to just releasing things when they are done, we've actually pushed content faster because it was like, okay, now we're focusing on the vehicles. Vehicles are done. We're going to release the vehicles. So it's also we also had more content this year because we changed how we develop them, I think.
I don't think the
Which-
amount of content changed per se, but rather the release rate of content.
Yeah.
it's a really good thing too, because if we were waiting on new Sector 5, it wouldn't be out for another at least 6 months.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the update to Minecraft for the new Sector 5.
Yeah, one is the...
I think it's during Christmas time when the update is supposed to be coming
Are we
out.
waiting for just a world height, or is there more?
The world height, basically. Actually, I discovered recently that the default world height would be, or well, the new default world height would be enough for new Sector 5, so I don't even have to use experimental stuff for it. Other places are a different story, though.
But yeah, that's basically the answer. We changed how we...
Yeah.
Because 2020 with COVID was a little bit different. Also, I think it's especially between summer vacations, because a lot of us still have school because we're tiny people. And we also just kind of worked in a less like MRCL way. MRCL works better if we're all basically just, okay, I want to do this, I'm gonna do this thing, and then we're gonna release it. Same with Arena, actually, was just something like, okay, that was an idea someone had and somebody wanted to do it. Matrix and Oscar wanted to do it, and we just let them do it.
That's how MRCL has been all like since the very beginning. There's been an
How's it
idea
slaying?
that someone wanted to do it, and then they work on it, and other people join on the effort, and then we release it. We hardly ever assign something to be done unless it's for something that we've planned, such as an event or something like that.
Yeah, but generally just doesn't work if we assign things.
Yeah.
City is an example of that.
City is definitely...
Yeah, let's get to the city later on. Because there's
Alright.
a lot of stuff to be discussed about that, definitely.
Next question.
Next question is written probably in Polish, I think, but the translation reads as, when will vehicles be added to Lyoko? Well,
About
actually,
2 months ago.
we just 2 months ago added over vehicles to Lyoko. Which is pretty epic, if you ask me.
Yeah, Kaz, tell us, why did it take this long to develop over vehicles? Why didn't you do it faster?
And if there's any additional stuff you'd like to say about them,
Yeah,
then
just
obviously
tell us
do.
about over vehicle development. Like, why monsters first and then over vehicles?
All vehicles might seem easy to do, but they actually have quite a lot of systems behind. First systems were tested with the skates. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a large amount of people online.
They weren't stable enough,
Oh, dang.
and the flight system was a completely different story. Yeah, I remember when we first discussed over vehicles, and back then we didn't think they'd be stable enough for us to add, and did break the gameplay, but they've been executed pretty well. Kaz says that in order to allow passengers, we had to use an anti-entity system to stack multiple passengers into properly positioned, and researching that took a lot of time.
I mean, the models for over vehicles, some of the models were like forever ago.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we had like the overwing or at least the overbike since like beta.
No, I
Yeah,
think
we've had
overboard was first, because that one was, I think, easier. Kaz, what was the first over vehicle model?
I'm pretty sure Overbike was the first one.
Yeah, all right.
We had it at around Lyoko recompiled.
It was whenever we had the first museum.
Yeah, the museum. We should we should actually make that one.
Yeah.
A new one day.
Letoad
The
wishes
old one
MRCL
got
happy
deleted.
birthday.
How hard is it to make the server working? Well, considering it crashes regularly, I wouldn't say it's still working. I don't know, how hard is it to make the server work?
Much.
I think the actual, like, the building and stuff is not it takes a lot of time, but it's not necessarily challenging. It's more the exploitation of Minecraft's mechanics, which makes the server just really unstable. Like, we are very ambitious with what we're trying to do on MRCL. And that is... it's not hard per se, but it just takes a lot of time to figure out how to do those things. And I feel very lucky that I found so many talented people like Nugent, like Alex, like Kaz, like Ten back when she was actually doing stuff, to make those things work. Because I certainly could not have done this, and I don't think the trailers wouldn't be as good without Alex, and we wouldn't have good buildings without any of our builders or Winter or Kaz. So it's really a team effort to make the server work properly.
So essentially, MRCL has been very lucky to gather around an odd bunch of people who have different specialities that make it work.
It's honestly insane. Whoops, I fell through the map.
Easy win, by the way.
Yeah, you just exploited me.
All right, our next question is, if is a new season with a new local warrior come, did you go add her class in Minecraft? So to translate that to proper English, I think they're asking that if ever Code Lyoko would have more content and there would be another class of Lyoko warrior would be added to MRCL, which is definitely we would.
What do you think, Kaz?
I'll at least try to. But yeah, Kaz is the one who does powers.
It's
It's so unlikely that Code Lyoko would have another season. Yeah, but it's an if, alright? Let's presume that there would be another one.
well, I mean, It's sort of, I guess you could sort of see it like if Evolution would get a second season, would we add an extra Lyoko warrior? I feel like that's the more controversial question. Because
Oh yeah.
any way you look at it, Evolution is a continuation of Code Lyoko. So I
Well, I
feel
mean, the
like,
Chronicle. Sorry,
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, we did add Cortex and
it
ninjas.
really depends on what we consider canon. I think we focus on the original show first. But for events and stuff, we've added stuff like Cortex.
Yeah.
the Chronicles actually did have another class.
Really?
Oh, what class?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the character Eva, she was possessed by Xander for most of it, but she has she's like a witch and she flies on a guitar instead of a broom.
Well, okay. Let's not add that. Maybe.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I
So,
don't think it should be added.
To answer the question itself, we would consider adding a new Lyoko warrior if such came up on the series, but our focus is more off on the first 4 seasons of Code Lyoko and then extending upon that if we feel like it.
More just because we have so much left to do for the.
Yeah. So we'll see in the future if we add some other Code Lyoko related content, such
really
as the
just
Chronicles.
depends. Like if we figure out how to do it, like if Kaz, I don't know, suddenly has a great idea of how to do the Cortex vehicle, then he'll probably do it, because that's just how MRCL works.
We definitely won't tell Kaz not to do it. Alright. On chat, Rafaela is asking, is there any sort of optimization update possible that would make the server use up less CPU and less likely to drop TPS? It's easy, we just disable routines.
Well, I mean, right now the TPS is low because there's just a lot of players. Is there a way to optimize it? Probably, but realistically, we're honestly not smart enough. I mean, the problem, Kaz could probably also comment on this. Optimizing is honestly really difficult in just regular game programming, but especially in Minecraft, because Minecraft is just terribly optimized as it is. So we don't really have that much control over it. Presumably there's ways, because, for example, the routines, Kaz worked on it for months, and then when I think, how many NPCs are there on routines, Kaz? Yeah,
About
there's
100.
about 100 NPCs.
Attic is so laggy.
Yeah.
And we turned on routines after he worked on it, and it just died, straight up died, because the pathfinding that the NPCs use, the algorithm that they use to figure out where to go, in default, that the plugin, the NPC plugin uses, is just not very optimized. So we actually found someone, Matty, to help us with that. He made a whole pathfinding routine just so that we could run it. So yeah, there's definitely things we can do to optimize it, but none of us are actual programmers. So it's
We need to bring in the experts.
Yeah. But we're gonna try, like, if we figure out something that because we also had a concern with the super scan, which is also the reason why it breaks sometimes. The super scan would load like 4 or 5 chunks for every tower every time somebody used the super scan, which isn't very optimized. And then we changed it, which kind of made it break in edge cases. So it's also a little bit of a optimization is always a question between different resources, between CPU and memory. So yeah, that's a very long answer to a question. Sorry.
It's fine, we have all the time in the world. On chat, we have Odd Alexander Delarobia asking if someone likes the Minecraft skin of staff, can they use it without any problem? Just use the Minecraft skin. Well, I mean, it's not like we can claim ownership of a skin, but in general, you shouldn't be using a staff skin on MRCL.
It's not
We can't really
illegal,
track
but
what
it's
you
very
do,
frowned
but
upon. Well,
it can be seen as impersonation, and that would get you in trouble with the moderation. So
Yeah.
it's best to avoid that doing it on the server. Of course,
If
you're
you-
free to use whatever skin you use anywhere else.
If you use it on MRCL, and we have the feeling you're doing it to pretend to be one of us, then no, you can't. Otherwise, we can't stop you.
I will say that most of us typically have like really niche or custom skins, except for Alex. But Alex is Mario, right?
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that you'd have issues with that anywhere else, unless you just really wanted our skin.
Yeah. Code Lyoko inside wishes us happy birthday and is really impressed by our work and wishes us good luck for the future. Why, thank you, Code Lyoko inside. Night Shroud is very happy that we've built this and wants to tell us that this show is literally his childhood and he's happy that we brought it to Minecraft. And thanks us for that. Cyber Armadeus asks more minigames when.
Yes, Oscar, more minigames when? Wait, is Oscar not in the VC?
I'm sorry,
No.
Oscar. I
Oh yeah,
found you.
because he can't
You wanna?
run Minecraft on Discord.
Oscar is in the VC. You wanna head off so I don't kill you right now? Then run away.
No, okay. But yeah, more minigames. Probably. I mean, I think the first thing we're gonna add is probably more arenas because this one is quite big. More minigames. That might be a second.
That was dirty.
I know Oscar is working on more attacks though. I just have to go over them and approve them. It's Oscar who works on the code side of things, and it's Matrix who works on the builds. But especially now that the code side for arenas is done, it's not that hard to make more arenas.
Okay, so to answer the actual question, when will we have more minigames? Or will we have more minigames?
Soon, TM.
There you have it.
Soon, TM.
That's like our most common answer. Soon,
I think
TM.
It's gonna be after probably some attacks and other arenas. Unless Oscar is very inspired and is like, oh yeah, I have a great idea for a minigame and how to do it.
I think Kaz mentioned this before that it's planned for a green tower activation. When does this feature get to be in the game?
Well, if Alex can show the tower in the middle of the arena for a second. We do have the ability to have green towers. We just don't really know what gameplay we're gonna tie into them. We do have ideas.
Yeah, the functionality behind activating towers is there. It's just that we don't currently know how to implement it to gameplay.
We are sort of thinking it as a way to get energy. So maybe, but this is just an idea. So I don't know if we're actually going to do it. But maybe you can go to the Sector 5 interface, be like, okay, I want to activate a tower, and then a random tower gets activated, and you have to run to it, and then you can get energy without relying on Xana. So that's one way we might do it.
All right. Our next question, I can't speak. Next question is most likely for Jack, and it is: how did you come up with the idea of MRCL, and how was the server at first?
Okay, well, how was the server at first? We're gonna answer that in a second. How did I come up with the idea? Well, at the time, I was working on a different Minecraft.
Are you just reading what you sent me? Or...
No, I'm just remembering what I sent you.
Okay.
At the time, I was working on another Minecraft server that I used to moderate. I was trying to revive
Miss
it.
Ritz.
And I was first year of college, so I was very bored. And then I was also rewatching Code Lyoko. And I was thinking, you know, it would actually be cool if somebody made a Minecraft server based on Code Lyoko. Like, that would be interesting. So on the EFSCL Facebook, I was like, hey, like, what if we do that? Like, is anyone interested in helping out with that and, like, moderating and helping out financially? Big surprise, nobody was interested in helping out financially. Oh, is Cass chasing me? I'm just stream sniping myself right now. So of course a few people were interested in helping there, and Nugent also commented like, "Hey, I have a Sector 5 map." And then some idiot named Sky was like, "Hey, I have a Windows server that you can use if you want." And that was a little bit of a problem because it meant that I actually had to put work in this. So then we had this Windows server where we could run MRCL on, which was kind of garbage because I don't like Windows Server. And I started a Discord about 4 years ago. I looked for moderators and people on the FSCL because, of course, where else would I find Code Lyoko fans? And 10 signed up, and then Alex joined, and eventually Kaz joined, and it all started taking off from there. So it was just really it was basically an accident because really, I'm not nearly the biggest Code Lyoko fan in the server. So it was just, I had the idea and people liked it and wanted to do it. And here we are.
How was the server when it first started?
It was garbage. It was...
Okay, but like, I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that one.
Sector 5 was in a super flat world.
Alex, can you get the Caddick preview? One of the videos, the Caddick preview. That just gives you the best idea of what it was like in the beginning. We stole this old Minecraft map from Planet Minecraft that was supposedly Code Lyoko Caddick, but it was like not.
It was good, but it was not accurate at all.
It was serviceable. The first yeah, I'll wait for Alex to put on the...
Yeah, we're gonna be showing you an old trailer that is currently unlisted that shows how the Caddick was during our very first year of MRCL.
Yeah, I don't know what...
It should be up on the stream right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, actually, Alex, do you think you can screen share with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, as you can see, it was really basic. We didn't have vehicles, so for the sewer system we got minecarts. So we basically just stole that map, and then there was also a factory attached to it, but it wasn't that great. I think in this video it's already we already modified it a little bit. The elevator was command blocks. 10 made that elevator actually. I mean just look at it. It was awful. But people already liked it a lot. So you can see how far we came there. Temporary RTTP trigger. It was there for like forever.
Temporary.
Also, we didn't have powers. We didn't have classes. We had one. The first sector we released was in Halloween. What was it? 2018? I don't know.
Yeah, it was like Halloween 2018, and it was a forest.
Yeah, Nightmare Forest.
It was the Nightmare Forest sector. That was the first publicly available. I think Ice was also pretty early.
I think Ice was the first actual sector that we released.
Yeah.
Probably. Sector 5 was the one we had first, though, because Nugent already made it. Speaking of Nugent, like, what, you had it, and then you built the whole thing, and then...
This was why I got Minecraft. Back in 2012, I decided that I wanted to build like a replica of Code Lyoko because at the time I was hyperfixated on it, right? And so I got Minecraft for this purpose, and I had like 30 iterations of Sector 5 that were all really garbage. But that one was the first one that I had made that was like actually good. And I posted it to Facebook, and then Jack was like, hey.
Oh yeah, I
Minecraft
commented on that post, yeah.
Yeah. And so that was the basis. That was the first sector that we had. And I do still like the old Sector 5 just because of, nostalgia, but it's not up to standard anymore.
We need more. We
Yeah.
need it better.
Nujin, do you remember that one time when we had the Xana core on Sector 5? You know, that stone sphere with all the command blocks that control the towers?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
That was
I
a
do.
thing.
Yeah. So
It's supposed to be a virtual shell, but it had Xena inside it.
to
Yeah.
explain that, like I said, we didn't have any plugins or something. So the way we did the towers is it was literally a set of command blocks that would, with the wireless redstone plugin, activate random towers, and all those command blocks were in Sector 5, which is kind of on topic. It was pretty appropriate. And then I think later, no, even after that, we had a huge 10 built this whole command block structure for the super scan
Oh god.
to detect those wireless redstone enabled towers.
Yeah, so how it worked was that each tower was equipped with a small emitter that would light up if the tower was active. And we had this huge ass contraption that had all receptors of each and every tower so that it would let you know if a tower is active, if any of them was active. It was huge and god awful and would break down every single day.
Just like the current super scan.
Yeah.
What else was the server? I mean, it was, as far as the community goes, it wasn't that different. I mean, it was smaller, obviously. And it was also a lot easier to get higher up in the rank. So right now, if you want to become a builder or something, you have to apply, and then like you have to build a few buildings, and then we'll go like, okay, you've built something, you get along well, you now get the builder rank. But before, it was literally 10.
Yeah, it reminds me of that
access.
one temporary OP that I got.
And I gave her temporary OP because I couldn't figure out any other way to give her command block access without.
How many years have I had that temporary OP now?
Yeah, she's never been not OP since. Well, there was that one time, but
Yeah, well, that's an incident that's not supposed to be public.
yeah.
But there has, let's say that MRCL is not without drama. There's been plenty of that.
Listen.
Yet we work as a team and we've done a pretty damn good job at it.
No, I do think actually MRCL drama-wise isn't that bad.
Nah.
I mean, we are a fandom server, so
yeah, fair enough.
Like, also our rules are pretty lax towards
Yeah.
everything. Like, it's not like we ban politics or stuff like that. And generally, it hasn't happened a lot, but there's been times that there were like people that were like, okay, these people are definitely not gonna vibe well with the community, and we just got rid of them. Except Dylan, that one went along for a while.
Would you like to discuss more about MRCL's past, or should we move on?
Does anyone has anything? Kaz, let me know. What was MRCL like when you joined?
Yeah, because you were a player on our early days.
Because how did you become staff? How did that happen?
Someone should probably read.
Yes, 10. Read the answer.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm fighting. Wasn't paying
I won't
attention.
kill you, I promise. Ah, got that.
I will kill you though.
Okay, fine. If that helps you
That's
read
right.
the question. Hang on, I'll read the. Okay. So Kaz said, MRCL was cool for exploration, but it had zero gameplay. I said, this Katic is garbage, and I can do a better one. And then, supposedly, I said, sure, Grandma, but then he actually did it. He actually did it decently, and then he got the builder rank. I do remember saying, like, okay, if you think you can do better, and it was like, sure, and then he did it. And it was definitely better. But that was, like, 2 Katics ago.
Well,
So
yeah,
yeah.
back in the day when anyone would apply, we didn't really have any guidelines for staff applications back then. It was more like I went through any applicants and then I sent the most promising ones to the team and we either accepted them or denied them. These days we have a Google form that you fill out and we get it to Discord and we actually review them properly, which does take time these days.
We
So I
should
guess we were
probably-
faster back then.
We should probably move to a different question now.
I
Yeah.
actually did the form though, I think.
Yeah, we did use the form, but it wasn't automated at all. So it was more like whenever I checked it. And I actually downloaded the applications to a folder on my first laptop. I probably have yours in that one, Alex.
I know what I put in there. Old
You know, it'd be
project.
fun to find the old staff applications and share them to you.
There was old project that I sent in there.
All right. For the next question asked in chat is that the footage that we're showing from the arena, is it a PvP arena and is it gonna stay?
Yes and yes.
Yeah, that's.
So, do we have any plans on removing the arena after the event?
No.
Mm.
Arena
No.
is just a little bit like Cortex. I mean, a little bit. Arena was an idea we wanted to do for a while, anyways. So yeah, answer is yes, it'll stay, and yes, it's PvP.
Yeah.
It's mainly designed so that people can kill each other without going, oh, I said he should stop, and you know.
Yeah,
That was
that place
sort of
where you can
the-
actually fight players without disrupting the.
That's where the
gameplay.
idea came from.
Our next question is telekinesis? I can't fucking read.
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis going to be improved? Like currently, we can kill by crushing rocks on them or putting them above the sea, but we'll be able to make them move, as in control the player probably. Because like when you stop using the power, the object will fall instantly. Will it be able to continue its trajectory?
Yeah.
To give an example, when Yumi uses odds overboard to kill a tarantula. This
So
is
he-
most likely for Kaz.
He's basically asking, are physics, throwing an object, are physics gonna be implemented better for telekinesis?
Basically, do math, please.
Basically, Kaz, can you do math? You can't even imagine the current math that we do for the falling. Yeah, that is true.
So
Kaz would like to add it, but it is unlikely and definitely not a priority. So that's a maybe.
that's a very maybe. That's like maybe, but don't get your hopes up.
I know you guys have updated Forest Sector a few months ago. It's really great. Will you update the remaining sectors as well? Nugent, this is your territory.
Okay, so we do have, first of all, the tower quality of life update, which is also waiting on the 1.18 update for Minecraft. But as far as like the actual terrain updating, at this current moment in time, with exception to Ice Sector, because there is an area in Ice Sector that I really want to change when we move the towers, or when we change the towers, because that'll give me an opportunity to actually like physically move them. Basically, desert and forest are how they're going to be. I might change up some of the way that they're decorated. Like the beginning area in the desert sector has like a lot of. It has too much like floating stuff that's higher than the rest of the terrain, and it kind of bugs me. So I might fix that somewhere down the line. But as of right now, it's not officially planned.
Okay,
That
so
being
there
said-
will be a towers update, but there might not be a sectors update.
That being said, that can change at any time. I know that I made a joke, Jack made a joke about having 20 towers per sector recently, so if that takes off.
But there's no major structural changes planned for now.
Yeah, I think that quite sums it up. Neark asks if Jack would like to dub a character in his cartoon in the future.
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna be pretty busy probably, so probably not. But it is nice that you asked.
So that's a maybe as well.
You should try 10.
No. Um. do, 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 do. If someone gets permabanned, how many times? How much time needs to have passed before they can apply for an unban from the staff?
Well, let's see. Who did we unban recently?
I
April.
think we unbanned April, yeah.
But he got banned like what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
It really depends on.
Yeah, there's no set time for that. Let's
There's no
say it
set
like that.
time. Definitely assume it's gonna be a long time. Also, your ban application is really important. So if you're like, hey, I would like to be unbanned, lol, that's not gonna do it. You really have to be like, hey, look, I know I made mistakes. This is this is how I improved myself over time. Also, really depend on what you did. Like, if you, I don't know, because
If you posted sexual pictures of the Yoko Warriors, you can expect that it's not gonna be very soon that you get unbanned.
I don't know, if you like were like toxic or something, or if you used cheats or something, but that was like a year ago. I mean, people grow up, you know. And there's people that I know of that I think somebody cheated on advancements, and they were like, "Hey, I cheated on advancements, but I'm not on the veteran ban list. Shouldn't I be on there?" Like, I appreciate that. He's like, "Hey, I made that mistake. Shouldn't I be on the list?" Um, but like that was years ago. So if they're like, "Okay, I changed. I'm now not 14 but 16," then we're like, "Okay, fine." So it really depends.
It also depends on how you handle the punishment being given. If you try to go around a ban using alts,
Like,
alternative accounts, it only proves us that you don't really understand or accept the verdict you were given, and
yeah,
that doesn't really paint you in a good light, so to speak. Same goes for harassing and insulting staff members in DMs after you have received a punishment. That only shows us how immature and you didn't understand the punishment at all.
yeah. We're pretty harsh with punishments on MRCL. I do have
We
to
don't
say that.
punish easily, but if we do, it is for a reason.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
we expect you to understand that reason and
Next
to
question.
actually go through it. All right, next question is it planned to add Sector 5 monsters into the server as all time? I'm sorry, this is written in a
I
bit
think
poor
it's
English,
it's
but I
it's
think they're
a good
asking
question.
if we're gonna add random monsters spawning to Sector 5 and that the monsters would be Sector 5 monsters such as creepers and mantas.
Yeah, so basically two questions. Are we gonna have random monsters, and are we gonna have creepers and stuff?
As says at some point, yes. That was rather easy to answer then.
Yeah, I think Sector 5 monsters is probably the harder one because creepers are kind of weird.
What do you mean? They're just green, blocky, and explode.
And models and like funny.
And they walk
Thank you.
on wall.
Yeah, I think the random monster is definitely something we have to work on, but it's a little bit complicated, because we have to figure out where they have to spawn. Um, it's hard to say which one of the two is going to come first. I do want random monsters on Lyoko, though.
So there you
But
have it.
we
There
don't have
may
any
be Sector
concrete
5
for it.
monsters
Yeah,
coming up, and
yeah,
we're
they're
definitely going
gonna
to be
be there.
working on random monsters at
Yeah,
some point.
it is planned, but we don't have anything concrete for it yet.
Here's a question that I'd like that each and every one of us answers,
Oh God.
starting from Alex, because it is, what is the weirdest feature you guys have wanted to add? Alex, you go first.
I think there's more to that question.
Weirdest?
The weirdest feature you have wanted to add to the server. It doesn't matter if it got added or not, but just the weirdest feature.
I don't know if I had weird ideas, but yeah, I have no idea because usually when I thought of an idea think of it like a feature from A to Z to Z. I don't know how to say it in English, but I'll try to think of an idea like from the start to the beginning. So if I see if this is weird when I skip it immediately or something, I don't think I have like a real idea that is weird or something.
The forum also had a question about ideas that we didn't implement because they wouldn't work or because they would be buggy or something. So maybe that's something.
Well, right now I don't have one in mind.
Well, have you ever had an idea for MRCL that you couldn't do because it wouldn't work?
Well, I mean, I have one, but this is not 100% sure that this, well, it is unlikely to be there, but I still have a chance that it might one day, but really difficult.
Well, what is it?
Doing like groups so people can play. So like each group is a session where people can play together, but everything that happens is only in their group. Like if there's
So you mean like Roblox style of private servers?
Kinda, yeah, but instead it's a client-side thing. Because I wanted to do that mainly because some people tries to do roleplay on the server, which is cool and all, but the problem with that is that some people sometimes there's some other players playing at the same time because it's a server with multiple people, and sometimes they just the tower, for example, that they wanted to deactivate gets deactivated by another player and stuff, and yeah, sometimes it's a bit annoying, but I mean, it's a server for everyone, so.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good. Actually a good answer to that question.
Jack, what's the weirdest feature you wanted to add?
I'm scared.
Kaz already knows. Kaz already knows what I'm thinking about, but it is something that I might actually add. Maybe, but currently it's not possible because MRCL is cursed. I was thinking because MRCL is such a creative server, like because creativity works for developing things, I think it would be cool if regular players could build things. So I was thinking to add creative plots to MRCL, and then other people were saying maybe we can add like powers to it so you can make your own obstacle courses or whatever. But the problem with that is, firstly, the powers block the last three. They mess with the inventory, so they don't really work that well with creative mode. And we have this really weird bug on the main server where sometimes it won't let you break or place blocks. So because of those two things, it's not likely that it's going to be added soon. But it is something I do want to look into, because then people can make their own Code Lyoko stuff and share it with the community.
All right. Kaz, same question. Write down your answer while we move on to Nugent.
Okay, so it was
The question is that what is the weirdest feature that you have wanted to add to MRCL?
yeah, I'm trying to think. It's
Thinking of all the things you can say and the things you can't say.
yeah, because like this one is kind of something that I still am working towards. How about this? So I don't think I've actually discussed this with you guys though, but I had this idea to make a one-to-one just unforgiving Lyoko. Like it would have, the weird number of towers that we discovered recently we recently discovered because of Code Lyoko FR that not all the sectors had the same towers, like the same number of towers. So I would make a Lyoko that was like 1-to-1 based off of the show. Unforgiving. There's no way between the platforms unless you have powers, and it would also have like unique features in the sectors. It would take like a lot of resources, and I thought it would just be fun, but maybe in the future.
All right. Kaz, have you written down your answer yet? Presumably not, but you just said that almost. All right.
What
Well,
about you, Ted?
I guess I'll answer then. Honestly, most and any ideas that I come up with, I actually do implement on MRCL. But the idea I've had for the past 3 years is improved interfaces, and we actually did a test on
yeah.
this back in 2018, I think, with a plugin that would have allowed you to write on it. And I've always wanted this, interface that you can write code Xana, code Jeremy, code Hopper on, and it would do stuff based on your input. That would be super cool. But as of this state of MRCL, that is unlikely to ever happen because it requires such an amount of resources, and any attempts at it have failed quite miserably.
Yeah,
But
I remember.
I hope it will work someday, but it's definitely one crazy dream that I have for MRCL.
I remember we were looking into this plugin that adds holograms around you
Yeah.
like a heads-up display.
In theory,
But
it
it
was very
didn't
cool,
work
but it
really
didn't really
well.
work. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's also a good question. Like, what something we wanted to add was kind of glitchy, and but that is a very good. That's actually a very good answer. Okay, Kaz, we're waiting.
But rest
for you.
assured, we are still going to be working on the interfaces and improving them eventually. We just need to figure out how.
Oh wow. Okay. That's a lot.
You want to read Kaz's answer?
Okay, I'll read it. Okay. Kaz says, let's see, it's not really weird, but it was problematic, and I didn't really see the issues when I suggested it. At some point, I thought expanding routines to let players choose their gender, so that Jim would punish them if they entered the wrong bathroom or shower room, but that would cause many problematic social issues, with gender identity for some people, and it's just not worth the trouble. So MRCL players are officially genderless. It's canon. Enter whatever toilet you want. That's also
Yeah, in MRCL, there's no girls' floor and boys' floor, even though Jim kept a lecture about it.
Well, the girls' floor, the girls' floor and boys' floor, it actually came up on the server today. Is complicated because it's not consistent throughout the show. There's a scene where Aelita and Jeremy are on the same floor. So also because of the whole gender thing, we decided to sort of just let it in the middle, and you just like if players ever get rooms, then you can just choose whatever floor you want to be on.
Oh yeah, whatever happened to that we were going to allow players to have rooms? What happened to that, Kaz?
Yeah, Kaz, what happened to that? Routines V2 when?
Have you ever publicly discussed about that?
I think we probably most of the things that we release as a surprise, like Arena, is something I definitely brought up in MRCL publicly before, but people forget about it. And then,
yeah. Well, then again, we come up with such multiple topics which never get released.
Well, it's also the funny thing with Arena was, I think I came up with it, or we came up with it together as a community, and then later on, I think people literally suggested it while we were working on it. It's like, oh
yeah,
damn, now it's gonna seem like we stole their idea. And
yeah. That's actually funny because when we work on something, it can take a long time, and accidents such as that one can happen, that you suggest a feature that we're actually working on, and then it kind of seems like, oh, we just got the idea from your suggestion, and that kind of feels like invalidating it, although it isn't.
Yeah. I mean, it sort of feels like it ruins the surprise.
Yeah.
This happened with one of my projects recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever is the host of the thing, could you start it? Everybody just click 1 and right-click.
Okay, next question.
I'm not the host. Our next question from the chat is how many... No, wait, no. Are mantas going to be spawning in Volcano again?
Yeah, that's a good question. The arena died.
Yeah, I entered the tutorial for some reason.
Okay. Apparently, Kaz just thought the mantas still worked.
Okay, so the volcano will have spawning mantas as soon as they're fixed.
I still remember that they're probably still as buggy as before, though. Did you actually fix mantas a little bit, Kaz, since the event? Okay. So soon TM, once Kaz realizes that they don't actually work.
How many different Lyoko monsters are currently implemented on the server?
Three.
Cast has 3, which would be the block, the Cancrelap, and the Manta. Yeah.
Although there are prototypes. Yeah.
Crab's model is done, but the development is still ongoing. So what you can take from that is that we plan on adding more monsters, but it takes time.
If you want to know what we're currently working on in secret, you should probably boost the server or join our Patreon.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, we send information on our Discord server, which is the main source of information for anything MRCL related. If you're not on the server, join it right now. And on the Discord server, if you are a Patreon or you boost the server, you get access to a supporter announcements where we give the supporters a bit of a sneak peek on what we're working on before we release it. So if you want to be the first to know what the hell's going on with us, then you should definitely join.
Also, there's a Sky resource pack based on Season 1 that supporters get.
Oh yeah, that too.
Should we kick some players? Real
We just
question.
go play on beta.
Well, actually, I don't know if beta has a functional arena.
Moving on to a next question.
We should probably just restart the server in a bit.
Hold up. I need to translate that question to English because it's in English, but in translate the English. Is it possible in the future that we have like a Xana faction where you can activate towers and combat Lyoko warriors that they're going to deactivate them?
Oh my gosh.
This was actually an idea that. So Alex had this idea of factions, and it is something.
Wait, no, wait. This isn't mine. I just repeated something that you all forgot.
Okay, well.
Okay, so it's his idea, but he doesn't want to take responsibility.
We know of the idea. I think for now it's not soon because we just haven't put any energy into it. What we need for a Xana faction is we need a separate like Earth base for it, like a replica with a Earth equivalent.
Yeah, we need a replica base, and
we don't have any codes that supports that. I mean, we had the toy factory.
Okay, but are we going? Have you got any plans to doing that? Not that do we have it, but are we going to do that?
Maybe. It's something that we're definitely interested in doing, but
the factions that I was looking into were for ninjas, Xana, and Lyoko warriors, and maybe Men in Black. We got really that far or that big, but.
So to give you an answer, we're definitely interested, and it's on a to-do list.
Who
But
had
yeah.
the idea? Wasn't it you, Nojin?
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought so.
But yeah, the
But everyone forgot, except me. At least
A
I
lot of the
remembered your
features-
idea.
a lot of the features that people want us to implement like depend on other things that have to come before it. So, for example, the skid. First, we need to do over vehicles to understand how we're gonna do vehicles in Lyoko, or the energy system had to come before the vehicles. And for factions, we need to figure out translation to
Yeah.
Earth. Because right now, if you're not in Lyoko, you don't have powers. So for Christmas, we basically had to cheat. We had to pretend as if the
Toy
Toy Factory
Factory.
was a virtual world, was it?
Lelu tehedas.
You're spoiling the system.
Okay, next question.
Do we plan to implement any monsters that have been shown on the games, or only the monsters on the series?
Kaz is gone, but I can answer
Yeah.
that. The same as any other non-canon material is maybe. If we do that, it's probably going to be for an event, but considering how time-consuming monsters are, it's not very likely. But if we run out of monsters to make, then maybe yes. Probably
So
like
unlikely
endgame
but
MRCL.
plausible.
Not soon.
Do remember
it's
that
hard.
MRCL mostly focuses on the content of seasons from 1 to 4, so
Okay,
That's
but
why
we
we
had
have the Cortex.
Cortex. Yeah, we had the Cortex.
mainly focuses, didn't
volcano.
say it
This
only
is why.
focuses.
This is why we have Volcano as well.
Yeah, Volcano is definitely on a season 3 episode. You should rewatch the series.
But with
Yeah.
events, we really try to do like things you wouldn't see coming, like the Cortex or the volcano.
Yeah.
Because it's like a special thing that doesn't represent MRCL canon. Yeah, Kaz, they asked if we plan to do monsters
That aren't in the series but are in the Code Lyoko games.
I said maybe if we're bored. Yeah, or for an event, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
I
for an
mean,
event.
Technically, there is a lot of them in the video games that are just like skins, and well, there's a few new monsters, but there is a lot of skins as well.
So to give an actual answer, it is not a priority nor planned, but we might do it for an event, so
Non-canon
it's neither a
material
yes
is
or
often
no.
events.
We prioritize the canon material of seasons 1 and 4. From season 1 and 2, 4.
Implying evolution is not a canon.
Well, we can debate that later. We have a question that asks, if somebody tried to make something like MRCL, where and how would they find builders and coders? So essentially, how would you get started if you wanted to do something like MRCL?
Ask on MRCL, I guess. I
Certain,
mean,
so there are other servers out there which are dedicated to like Code Lyoko in general. So it really depends on what you're. If it's like, if you're going for Code Lyoko, go find a Discord server that is just like generally Code Lyoko. Or if it's Steven Universe, find a Steven Universe general fandom server. Or if it's Star Wars, find a general fandom Star Wars server and just ask for people who would be interested in having their talents on display in a server for community's sake.
that's basically how it happened on MRCL as well. Like, we just asked around, especially in the beginning in the EFSCL server, like, hey, we're doing Minecraft in Code Lyoko, who's interested in doing it? But if you want to do something like MRCL, I think at this point, MRCL is just so far ahead, you might as well try and focus on something else. I mean, there are some Code Lyoko themed servers from people in the server. Like, I know Matrix and Oscar have a Code Lyoko themed-ish server that they work on. But yeah, Nugent's advice is pretty sound. Just find people who are interested in the show, and there has to be someone that also likes Minecraft at the same time.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily discourage competition.
No,
Because
definitely not.
the reason I mentioned, the reason I got Minecraft was because I wanted to make Lyoko, but the only reason I wanted to make Lyoko is because there were maps out there for Lyoko, but they were all garbage. It was like Kaz saying, hey, I can do a better Katic. Well, I was like, hey, I can do a better Lyoko.
So what we're basically saying is, come at me. Actually, if somebody ever wants to do like, yeah, also you can apply for staff if you really want to do something like MRCL.
Yeah, we're always accepting new staff applications.
Except French moderators. We have enough of those.
Yeah, moderators is an
Hey.
interesting topic of staff applications because, like, we have people who join the server and they instantly apply for a moderator, and I can tell you that your application will most likely be rejected if you apply instantly after joining.
We actually have to go through the staff applications.
Vive
because-
la
Yeah, we do.
France.
To tell
We
you
are
why
looking
that is,
for-
that we want to know what you're like. We can't have a moderator who we don't even know.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, that's in general
essentially
for-
we're just entrusting them to, represent us and the staff on the server.
A lot of our staff decisions are based on, do we actually know who this person is?
Yeah. Oscar is
Even for
asking to get banned.
Well,
We can arrange that.
but yeah, I wanted to. I was gonna say, if anyone wants to make a Bedrock version of MRCL, I would 100% like get behind that. I would totally support that, like from MRCL, like I would advertise it and stuff. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people want to play MRCL on Bedrock, and I think that's one of the questions on the forum as well.
Yeah, we'll get back to that later.
No, we can. But the technology for Bedrock players to join Java servers right now is, with all the fuckery we do on MRCL, it's just not going to work that well. We're still looking into it, but if somebody actually wants to make like a native Bedrock MRCL clone, 100% go for it. We'll 100% like back you on that, because then we can send all the people who are asking for MRCL on Bedrock to you.
Right. Rafila is suggesting that we create a capture the flag minigame, which could be doable as a Lyoko versus Xana factions minigame. Any thoughts on that? Our minigame, guys?
We just released one, please. Give us time. But otherwise, maybe one day. Sure.
Yeah,
But
the idea does work out, and
The question was, it wasn't really a question, it was a suggestion for a capture the flag minigame, which does seem pretty doable.
yeah, the idea does seem great, and we have new minigames planned according to our minigame people. So stay tuned for more minigames. Arena is the first minigame that we actually released, which is pretty epic, not gonna lie.
and don't forget, mini games and stuff is like extra stuff for you, because
Yeah.
well, we're supposed
Minigames
to be a
aren't,
Code
the
Lyoko
focus
server.
of our development right now, because, at MRCL, we're kind of focused on bringing the Lyoko and stuff of Code Lyoko to alive, not
To be fair,
extra stuff. This is just what people have wanted to work on, and we've allowed them to do that.
But
To be
Jack doesn't
fair.
think that way, so
well, I
Wait
do
for just a
think that way,
second.
but the problem with MRCL is it's cool, very interesting,
but it's
it's wonderfully
repetitive.
done, but it's boring.
Yeah.
And we need to give people more stuff to do in between updates. Because even now that we release updates faster, it's still people mostly only join to try out the new update. Kind of like how I used to play AFCL. So, like, there's not much to do in between the updates. So minigames are a good way to do that. And I think once if we ever get the city done, we can add more stuff like that as well. Or
When we get the city done.
if we get the city done at this point. And routines v2, for example, would also add more dynamic stuff, like if you can go to class or have actual, lasting effect on the world a little bit.
We were asked which version the game is playable on.
Actually, because there might be a few versions that we're compatible with right now.
Yeah. Well, I myself am using 1.16.4.
Yeah, I think we're
And
native
there is-
1.16.5, but you can
Yeah.
probably join 1.16.
Probably
range.
not. No.
No?
Only 1.4 and 1.16.4 and 1.16.5.
Okay.
Because, well, Minecraft, since it's just a few fixes, well, this is like those two versions of Minecraft is nearly the same, so you can connect on both.
Okay. 1.16.4 and 1.16.5 is the answer.
1.17 one day.
Yeah, 1.17. I mean, we're probably gonna wait till 1.18 when the world height is added, because it's not worth putting the effort into transitioning if we don't really need the features from 1.17.
Basically.
Sorry, can I pick off a question here? Which one can be made faster, new minigame or the city?
New minigames, probably.
We can have 100 minigames before we have the city.
I mean, the advantage that we now have with our special ops team is that they can work on stuff while we work on stuff. So we can do things together at the same time. But the city, considering the server that we had our work on literally burned down, and considering it's a huge project and other stuff, it's gonna be a long time. A long time.
And then there was like recently talk about terraforming it to make it like, you know, have, rather than being a flat city, making it like have slope and stuff.
So yeah, we're basically still, especially since it burned down, we're mostly in the planning stage of the city.
We did have a work in progress city, but you know the builders that were literally burned. So
yeah. So
there's
now we want to
nothing of
like
that.
do it properly so that we can just knock it out in one go.
We've
There's
had more
also-
than a few we've had more than a few builders lose their mind over the server burning down.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
take backups, kids.
Somebody said, "I would like to help you in development, but first need to learn some stuff." Well, to be honest,
You know what? Same
making-
thing.
Minecraft plugins are a really cool way to learn Java because you actually get to see what you're doing. So usually code tutorials like, okay, now we're gonna make a program that adds two numbers together, or now we're gonna make a program that, I don't know, categorizes your books or whatever. And with Minecraft plugins, it's like, okay, now we're gonna make a mini game, you know? You can actually see what's happening. So that's actually like starting with the Spigot tutorials for Java is not a bad idea. But I do have to warn anyone who's willing to create, who wants to make code for MRCL. It doesn't really matter how good you are. We are very protective about our code. Like, for example, Oscar has been a moderator for a long time, and he only got like a single version of the project cartridge code as a reference. He still doesn't have access to the like up-to-date code at this point. So maybe try to get involved with the server in other ways before you apply for coding.
This actually prompts me to ask a question that wasn't asked, but I want to ask myself. What skills have you picked up on while being a member of the MRCL? Like you didn't have them before you joined the staff, but during development you picked them up.
Let's
Not
start
building,
with
that's for sure.
What did you learn, Alex?
Anyway, so whose turn is it? No, I mean, I want to try, like you said, to create plugins. That's a thing I want to do, but sadly enough, I didn't dive it. Okay. Well,
Server
I think the server
restarted.
crashed.
interesting.
Crashed or restarted. What time is
Well,
it?
I'll finish mine.
It's
so then.
possible that it's just
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to try coding because command blocks is cool and all. I've been doing this since I've joined the server. It's been too much time, but it's getting outdated now. If you see the monsters that Gaz is doing and stuff, like you can't do this with command block, or you can, but the number of lags will be too much. And well, I really want to get into coding, but sadly I'm at university, so my time is very limited. But maybe one day, who knows?
Hang on.
Jack, any
let's-
skills you picked up on
Okay, well,
development?
I wanted to let Cass first, but since Minecraft, okay. What did I learn? Well, I mean, when I started MRCL, I was in my first year of college for applied IT, so I sort of learned Java and programming as I went along. But the difference that MRCL made for me is MRCL motivated me to actually code something. So in my first year, I hated Java. I hated it so much because they were teaching us a bunch of stuff like, okay, you have these concepts, and I just didn't have any idea what to use them for. And then I had a year where I didn't have any programming classes, and in that year I worked on MRCL a lot. And I didn't really say improved my Java skills, but I did maintain them. So when it got to the point that I got programming classes again, I was really glad that I made a plugin in Java because I could follow. I could, like, the teacher was explaining concepts, like, yeah, I know what that means. I've used this. So that's one of the skills that I picked up. For the rest, I didn't really get better in anything like building or command blocks or stuff, so I didn't learn much there. I do think I got a little bit better at being in public and dealing with people publicly. I'm pretty glad with the way that moderation is managed on MRCL in general, but that was sort of something I discovered in myself. Okay, what about, is Kaz in game yet? Or maybe Kaz can
Kaz, you
on
can
the
write
screen.
on the delete me channel if
Oh,
you
yeah.
have.
Tell me.
I bet you have a bunch of things you've picked up on.
Tell me when to reopen. I'm on the beta too.
All right, Kaz writes,
Okay.
Kaz has personally learned everything from MRCL. He learned how to code thanks to Jack. He learned how to model, image and texture editing, project and team management, community moderation, Git, and he would not be in his current degree if it wasn't because of this project. So he
Wait,
thanks
team management.
everybody for supporting it.
He never said he did it well.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah, Kaz honestly has been
it
an
makes more
absolute
sense now.
magic.
Yeah, like
in the
there were
things
many things that Kaz wanted to do, and he just learned the things during our development in order to make it work, and that's something that I really admire about Kaz.
Yeah, the first elevator was like command blocks
Cool.
only, but he learned modeling for it, and basically command blocks as well.
Yeah.
And it was, at the time, it was insane. Like, it was just command blocks, and it didn't look that much. It was just a lot less glitchier than the current, elevator.
You know, we actually counted the amount of command blocks that the first elevator used, and it was roughly around 1,020.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I remember that when checking the command blocks, I was like, what?
That is a lot of command blocks, I tell you that much.
I was like, can
you know what? I'm gonna.
optimize that?
I wish that Alex would have worked on it with me and Kaz, because it wouldn't have been that many messy command blocks. Because, you know, we all know Alex likes to fix my messy command blocks. But
I'm gonna whitelist the server until it's properly started, at least.
I think the first elevator system still, like, we use the stone failsafe system in the elevator these days, what we used back then. So that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, Kaz, can you disable routines for a second so that the server just starts faster? Kaz says the gates still use a combination of command blocks and plugins. So,
gates.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
The-
think we
the
can all
doors and
agree
all.
I
that
mean the doors, yeah, and stuff.
Yeah,
Kaz learned an insane amount of
yeah.
things in the course of MRCL. He also didn't sleep, so that's kind of cheating, if you ask me.
I mean, 10 cheated
He'll-
as well.
No,
Well-
he just didn't sleep for no reason.
Well, we all know that Tendril is dead and Tendril didn't sleep, but Ten is someone who
more
enjoys
responsible.
sleep.
10 learned to sleep over the course of MRCL. I can.
Yeah, that's my superpower there.
10 also
Alright.
learned more JavaScript.
Nugent, do you have any skills that you've picked up during the development of MRCL?
So I picked up. I improved in my ability to build because that's mostly what I've been doing. But I also picked up some command block skills because I didn't have those before, and I got like really self-conscious about asking people to do things for me that should be like really simple. So I learned command blocks, and I'm not a novice and I'm not an expert. I'm somewhere in between, but you know.
Pretty good.
He said he's not that good, but just the preview of the new tower, I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
like Nugent is actually good at command blocks, and it's impressive.
I know a lot of people who can't do that.
We said it before. I mean, I said it before, but I'm still amazed by how many talented people I managed to find to do MRCL with.
Have
Like,
I ever
indeed.
that's sort of the thing. If you're like, I want to make a clone of MRCL, I'm sort of like, where are you gonna like all the talented people already here? Where are you gonna find them?
Yeah.
Alright, can I join the main server?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Alright.
Have I ever shown
Alright.
you guys the? Well, this is probably off topic, but
You can go ahead. You started anyway.
I have been working kind of like whenever I want to learn new things with command blocks, I actually implement it into this like TARDIS world, like Doctor Who TARDIS world that I have before I go to MRCL, and I built one system that was like absolutely psychopathic for me to do. I hate myself for it. I have a screenshot of it. Where should I post it?
Suffering for success.
Do I have to show a screenshot or something?
Yeah, you just have to see it.
Well, to me, I'll say my blah, blah. English is a hard language, which I cannot speak. I'm from Finland. I'm sorry about that.
English you clearly haven't learned.
Yeah, I know. For myself, skills that I've picked up doing MRCL, well, clearly not building. I still suck at it, but I knew some very basic programming when I first started at MRCL, and my first bigger programming project was Xanabot, which has grown a fuck ton since. Actually, the very early days of Xanabot, I had Jack teaching me how to program. And he was not having a good time, I can tell you that much.
Mostly because of JavaScript.
Well, yeah, and I'm also a hardhead, so I would argue with any
true.
basic thing that I don't understand because he explains it in a way that I should get, but I don't. And I've also learned a bit about project management myself, because this is a huge project with a huge staff, which does need some management, but not a lot, because, we're an amazing bunch.
It needs
mostly-
more management, we just don't manage to actually do it.
Yeah, we don't manage to manage. But yeah, I've also learned a thing or two about public relations and representing a brand, which is essentially what I do these days, because we have so many talented people that I've been outlived and replaced.
Can we talk about your trailer editing skills?
No, we cannot.
I was going to say, should we show
I
the
would
video?
say
No,
I would say that I've improved on trailers, but that would be a fucking lie. I'm so super glad that we have a talented video editor doing our trailers these days.
Talented did the coder was my first video.
And it was pretty great. Actually, if you want to take a look, we have some videos that aren't on the channel anymore that we could show off on the stream.
Which one?
You could show off the Tower Sneak Peek number 2, and then we could show off Code Reboot and then Code Earth.
Yeah, maybe
Alright,
the anniversary is probably pretty relevant.
Oh yeah, that too. So for this video that's about to be shown, called Tower Sneak Peek 2, it is the first MRCL related clip that we did,
That isn't just text.
and
Yeah,
it was
okay,
first
we need to
released
skip
on
it.
my personal YouTube channel, and it was supposed to give you guys a sneak peek of the very first functioning tower that we had. No, that's the second one. No. Yeah,
That's the only, yeah.
and back then our tower doors actually used fences with redstone and
Oh yeah.
carpet.
Forgot
You had to press a
about that.
button in order to get in, and it was kind of cool, like an invisible force field, but very basic.
I posted that thing in the voice chat channel.
That never changed.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Hey,
Actually, Jack created that one.
I'm still pretty proud of that, okay? That was a lot of work.
Oh yeah, back in the day, I wanted to implement a super scanner in chat that would let you know the sector number and the tower number, kind of like IFSCL does it, but we replaced that with an actual super scanner.
Yeah, because Ten was a lot fan of EFSL back then.
Yeah, I was a huge IFSCL fangirl. You could say that.
Understandable.
But that was like in 2017, so
Can we look at the anniversary video as well?
yeah, sure.
The first and only anniversary video.
Is it the first
Was this the
one?
first?
This is the first anniversary. Yeah.
Wow, we did a lot in a year, actually. Now I'm kind of sad about our progress so far.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, is it showing on stream? Yeah, it is.
can
Yeah.
we also talk about the core?
What about the core?
How was MRCL early days? Sky always punched the core of Lyoko.
Oh yeah.
It was a end crystal and it would explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And then it would
this
explode
thing
and-
was a end crystal back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
in
it-
the very
it
early
broke the core
MRCL,
every
as the
time.
core and holo map, we had to use ender crystals, and you know, in Minecraft, whenever you punch an ender crystal, it explodes and destroys the blocks in its vicinity. So
And we didn't.
we had to
figure out
rebuild
how
the
to
core room
prevent
at
that
least
yet.
3 times, thanks to Sky.
Yeah.
So
that's
Sky,
why
if
there's
you're
still
watching, thank you.
there's still a button, and there's still a sign next to the button downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you join MRCL and go to the core, you can find a sign that says "Don't destroy the core." That means you as well, Sky, or something like that.
Yeah.
That was for the end crystal. It's not about the advancement or something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why would you do that? Why would you destroy the core?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, like
Yeah.
right now it's impossible, but back then, Sky
Like every-
did some well mistakes.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So the video that we're watching right now is a compilation of screenshots during the
That's super
very
fair.
first development of MRCL. And the picture you're seeing right now is actually the first iteration of Super Scanner that only has the ice sector on it.
This is the old super scan.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I was not looking. I was looking at the stream, not at the. Oof.
Oh yeah, we
the
also had a
TARDIS.
TARDIS at the server at one point.
Oh, the.
Oh yeah, Nightmare Realm.
Yeah, can you
We
explain?
should bring that back.
So
Isn't it planned?
we had this
isn't
very
Planet-
tiny forest sector that Nugent created for us, and well, I've always been a big fan of Halloween. I always insisted that we do something on Halloween, which has kind of become a tradition these days. So we released the early forest, but we themed it to be like Halloweenish with mushrooms and mycelia and all that, and we called it the Nightmare Realm. We actually reused the same sector for another update, and we made it the Ice Forest.
Yeah.
I actually have a map of it, like an above map. It was very
Do you happen to have
very-
the Nightmare Realm like backed up somewhere? We could bring it back one day.
probably.
I think we have it somewhere.
Yeah, we could have like a replica with Nightmare Realm on it.
Yeah, I do, because I remember one year we decided we would bring it back. I think it was the year before I think it was in 2019 for Halloween that we brought it back, and I had to fix it because we had like ice crystalled it.
Oh
And
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had to like go back and re-add all the mushrooms and stuff.
A fun fact about our sector creation back in that day. So like our first tower system had to use a lot of redstone that wasn't inside the towers like we have it these days. So we had this gigantic box up top of the first tower that had
Oh,
most of the
yeah.
redstone, and then the beacon laser had to go through it because it was so large and it was just god awful. You couldn't really see it with Nightmare Realm because it was black box on a black sky, but with the Ice Forest it was so visible and so
yeah.
ugly.
Yeah.
I
I'm
posted
glad that we upgraded it.
That's why we
in voice chat.
changed
I posted like a little map of it that I have.
Am I
Alright,
sensing a Halloween event? Halloween events have been a tradition at MRCL, so you can probably expect one this year as well.
But it's sort of, I don't know how I feel about bringing back old events, because a lot of them are really cool and a lot of people didn't get to do them. But on the other hand, it's kind of lame to just do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We could
maybe
add
can
it
just-
as an additional thing on Halloween if we can.
I mean,
maybe we can
it would
put
be
new
cool
quests
to
in
have
them.
like a thing to go back at things you couldn't do it, but in which way I don't really know.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay, let's
Yeah,
skip
let's
the rest
move
of
on.
the video.
Oh yeah, there's the first supercomputer. That was pretty epic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for the winter event, we actually decorated the caddick that we had stolen. And
Borrowed.
this Christmas tree was built by me and a Finnish friend of mine. Back then we didn't have like builders at all. It was only Nugin who built stuff, and so I contracted this friend of mine who lived next door, and I was like, "Hey, can you help me build a Christmas tree on this Minecraft server about Code Lyoko?" And then I was like, "All right, I'm gonna give you perms." These days that wouldn't roll. You can't just have anyone join in and give them permissions to do stuff. Yeah, that was a nice snowy caddick for the Christmas. Oh yeah, this is when Kaz joined the team and told us that he can do a better caddick that we have. And that son of a bitch actually did it.
Factory as well, I think. Wasn't it Kaz who also made the new factory?
Oh, the first working transporter. That was so cool.
It's still command blocks transporter. Still you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you're still around, so that when it breaks I can ping you.
You know the current system isn't built by me.
No? I thought it was
No.
you. Okay.
No. I do know how it works, but
Oh
I
my
think
gosh! Do you
Kaz
guys
or
remember?
Alex.
Which
Do you guys remember when we used slimes as blocks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't terrible. Ooh,
Oh
first
yeah.
scanner.
Yeah, there's the first elevator building.
So, Kaz, a reaction to this in chat or something? I don't know if you said something.
Kaz just types, haha. Yeah,
So
the
what's this-
elevator
Yeah,
command
the
block.
elevator, the thing on the screen.
But also, yeah, the map
Listen,
we
it
use
worked.
is still on Planet Minecraft.
Yeah, it worked.
And yeah, that's the elevator model and the door model. You know, at that point, we had gotten... MRCL had content that no one else had ever done without mods in Minecraft.
It was starting to become really unique at this point.
Like, the elevator and the elevator door was something that really set us apart from any other project, because, like, there had been Code Lyoko projects that had supercomputers and interfaces and stuff, but they required mods. Ours doesn't, and this was something that still baffles me and most other users, that how the hell is this even possible in Minecraft without mods? This is truly astonishing.
I feel the
Technically,
same way.
everything is possible, but just takes a long time. Kaz can speak for this.
Oh yeah, I want to note something about the scanners. So the actual scanners that we have these days. When we were releasing the update that brought the scanners to life, as per MRCL, we were very late on implementing it. And Kaz had to join in using mobile internet in order to finish up the command blocks during the release date.
I don't
Yeah,
remember that.
Our releases used to be. Oh yeah, I think I sort of remember it in a sort of PTSD flashback kind of way. Like we were fixing it as people were using the elevator to
Yeah.
come down to the scanners.
Yeah.
We were still fixing it.
Wow.
Right now we just because I think we also like
Yeah, we didn't
moved-
close the server for updates.
No, we did, but we moved the release, but then we're like, okay, it's done, but then it wasn't done.
Yeah, and we didn't want to move it again.
Yeah, so we got a little bit better at that. I mean, this time we only delayed it by 3 days.
Kinda. Yeah, kinda.
A little bit.
Really, really little bit.
That's actually good.
The following screenshots are taken with shaders about the finished works for the Code Lyoko recompiled.
These are some good screenshots. But that was actually, if you look at that, that's an insane progress for a year.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
a lot more than we've done. Like, okay, vehicles and stuff, but I guess right now it's sort of expected that we do amazing stuff. But going from shitty Caddic to command block elevator and scanners and skates.
Yeah, basically the core high staff hasn't changed in all these years.
Nobody's been good enough. I mean, like I said, the standards also kind of changed. Kaz made Caddic basically all by himself, and we were like, okay, well, you're master builder now.
Yeah.
But I think Winter has done far more actual building work. But hasn't. I mean, he did get promoted, but not to master builder status. So because we have so many cool features right now, it's kind of hard to. It's also we try to limit the amount of admins that we have.
Oh yeah, we should probably talk about prior staff that we used to have. Like, how was the staff structure in the early days?
Actually, I think we have.
Obligatory mention of Loki.
Yeah, and Hopper.
Loki was never.
If
staff.
anybody remembers Hopper.
Actually, let's take a question from chat first, because we're. Simple question: will sector creation and destruction ever be a thing?
Didn't we have a temporary version of it for the Christmas
Yeah,
event?
for an event we did.
In the Christmas event, we had a visual representation. It's basically a proof of concept, but we were kind of concerned about it because the problem with it is that it works in very specific circumstances. I think Kaz pulled a lot of like hacky stuff out once again to do it. And it gets more complicated because the towers all have command blocks. The enormous size of the sectors. So if we can do it, maybe. But honestly, I personally don't find sector destruction that interesting in regular gameplay.
Unless you're destroying the core. As a Xenophide player.
Well, yeah, but that's also like too easy to. That I just don't find it that very interesting. So I'm not sure about it.
As says, as a summary, that we will at some point, but performance and stability is very iffy, so we have to look into it a bit more. But it's not a priority.
Yeah. Also, for people asking why they can't join the server, mostly because the server was dying, so we whitelisted it. I don't know if we can unwhitelist it now. We should probably.
I think.
Yeah, I'm disabling whitelist.
Okay, let's head back to the arena.
Yeah.
Okay. About staff structure.
Yeah. So, who were the administrators during the first year of MRCL? And who were the
only
master
two
builders and
admins
all?
were- First was me and Cats. Me and Sky. Wow.
I didn't know Kaz was
Me,
first.
Sky, and Hopper, because this player called Franz Hopper, which is against the nickname rules now. He was, I think he invited me to do a EFSCL help page on Facebook, actually. And he seemed to know what he was talking about. So I invited him, but that didn't really translate well to the whole Minecraft server thing. So he ended up leaving, and then we took in Kaz because we had a missing admin, if that makes sense. And then I don't think we had, like, builders weren't a thing.
Yeah, it was just me.
Ten was a moderator, but she had temporary OP. And then I think Nugent had the master builder rank. I think the rank existed.
Yep. That is the
Well,
one
no,
rank I've had for the entire time I've been here.
Oh yeah.
Kaz, you were permaless for 2 years, and then you became master builder, but you still didn't have like FTP access. And then when we finally decided to have Hopper go into retirement, to promote him to retired, then we were like, okay, this is a good time to make Kaz an admin.
Yeah, I actually had to wrap up a custom command for Xanabot to allow Kaz uploading files on our server because we didn't want him access to our server files.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
Frank did leave a lot earlier, but I don't think they had promoted him to retired until you became a master builder.
Yeah, he
Like,
got
Frank
really.
was still there.
He was basically dead, but he was still like technically an admin. Who was the first person who joined the staff team after Jack? Well, I guess it's sort of me and Sky both started the server, and Nugent was also there.
I'm
So
pretty
I
sure
guess the
Nugent was the first one to join.
Loki was
Well,
there.
yeah, but Loki wasn't staff. Not
He
really.
wasn't?
No. He owned the server with Sky, like the actual physical server.
I gotcha.
Wasn't staff. But I think 10 is the first actual like moderator, the first one that wasn't like immediately part of the server already when it started. First there was Light, and then there was 10.
And then there was no more like no future for any of us.
And then Alex, I guess. I mean, there were a few
second alpha
testers, but
Yeah, it was during the
Were you
second
in the
alpha.
second
I joined the second alpha. I remember it very clearly, and I remember.
Wow.
I think I selected like 10 people for the first alpha, and then
something like this. Like I was.
then there was the
selected
second
to
alpha,
get
after which we
in.
made it public.
and how did
yeah,
you end up
maybe.
working on command blocks?
So very funny. So I'll tell you my story.
Oh no.
It's very simple. So you see, I joined the server the night the night on the same day I decided to do an application, and the day after that I got, hey, hello. And I showed some command block skill, and they were like, what the fuck, and there we go. I got upped. Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened.
That sounds very
like,
on brand for early MRCL.
I remember when Alex joined and first did the first command blocks.
I did the translation system. That's what I did.
Yeah, and I was like, I remember messaging Jack and letting him know that I want to marry Alex because he's so talented. I legit said that. And I was like, he's definitely going to replace me. Like, I will have no job in a few days. He's too good.
Well,
you're still here.
it wasn't quite that fast, but
I mean, you're still here, so yeah.
I never let Alex know anything that I admired him. I just let him work. But now you know, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't worry, I wouldn't marry you anyway.
Wow, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, I just thought it's funny that I actually did say that back in the day, because like you were such a talented command block person, and it is great that you're on the team.
Well,
Still
thank
talented.
you.
I mean,
we
like-
say stuff like that during the live stream and not between stuff. This is okay.
It's almost as if I hadn't said this before.
I think you mentioned
As far as
one time, but
as far as events go, like regular MRCL development isn't that command block focused anymore. But for all the
yeah,
like things that really make the events feel real, like
but
the dialogue and the
right,
mini games
yeah.
with Christmas.
So events
That was
still
all
as
Alex.
command blocks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So, like,
we
if
don't have
Alex
time to
wasn't there-
code.
Yeah, that's well, that's actually true.
I guessed.
I mean, don't have it's like, yeah, don't have time to code, and like it would. The people who have to code are already busy
I mean,
doing the other events.
I'm saying
Yeah.
this, but the third anniversary was plugin thing, so
Third,
with the
what did
Cortex,
we-
Ninja and stuff.
well, the quests were command blocked.
Yeah. No,
Think
no,
so.
no.
No, I guess Kaz had time at the time.
Yeah.
Kaz did everything for the third
you can't,
anniversary.
you can't really compete with Kaz on any level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since enjoying, I knew it was my turn. To
We're all just here. We're all just here because there's only one of Kaz. If Kaz could clone himself, we could all just go home.
Yeah. One day. Since we're on the topic of stories, I think Jack has told his story, and Alex just did tell us his. As Sky isn't present, and we don't care about Sky anyway. So, Nugent, could you
Great.
tell us your story? How did you come to MRCL?
We already talked about this.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I don't remember the specifics myself.
I mean, the long and short of it is, so I spent, 6 months sitting at a computer making a Sector 5 world, and then I posted it to IFSCL because I was like, give me attention for my good work.
Remember now.
And Jack was like, hey, I want to start a server. Would you be interested? And I was like, sure, take this world. And we put it up and began beta.
So,
And-
Jack found your post on the IFSCL Facebook group or Discord?
Facebook.
People who use Facebook.
Yeah,
I made this.
What?
I had never heard of Discord. I had never heard of Discord before this. And I have disowned Facebook by this point. But
Yeah, that year was also the first year that I knew Facebook was the thing. That Discord was a thing.
Yeah. I think
But it's
Discord
great.
released in 2016 and we started development on 2017.
Well, that makes sense.
As for my story on how I joined the
Thanks,
team,
Discord.
I was on Immu's Discord server and I noticed Jack posting a forum where you can apply for a moderator status on a Code Lyoko
don't think
Minecraft
I-
server.
I didn't post the form. I just
Now
said
you-
who wants to moderate, and you said I'll do it.
Yeah. And I did fill a form. I think the staff form has been around longer than I am. And he accepted it, and then I did some basic building with Nugent and got command block access, and here we are.
I think Kaz already talked about.
Yeah.
There's some more form questions that are interesting.
Yeah, we're going through the form. Well, to all of our staff, do you like milk and chocolate milk? Milk and cheese? I don't understand.
I'm French.
Milk and chocolate, milk and cheese.
I can't answer. I'm French, okay?
He can't say that he doesn't like cheese. He'll be mobbed. He'll be arrested.
That's fair.
Okay, hang on. Okay, just decide the order, 10. We'll just.
Alright, just say if you like cheese.
Well, yeah.
Well, some people don't like cheese. It's also
Okay,
like what
so-
kind of cheese.
Yeah.
I'm very
MRCL
familiar
staff
about
likes
it.
cheese. That was easy.
Well,
And do y'all like chocolate milk?
No, hang on. There's a very big difference between young cheeses and old cheeses. Okay.
Hey, we're not
If
going
you-
to
if you
specifics,
ask
right?
me-
They just
you know
asked
what?
about cheese.
Listen, this
is
was a very
an
important question. You have to-
unrealistic-
Details are important, okay? Young cheese is disgusting. It's basically solid milk, all right? Old cheese is where it's at, and not everyone likes like Rochefort or other green cheeses, you know, with mold. Not everyone likes
Livestream.
Camembert, which is also cheese. Buy my cheese, guys. Call 111 cheese 1.
All right, moving on. We have a
Alright,
question
moving
on the
yeah.
forum.
He also
Um,
said chocolate milk.
yeah,
he
but
doesn't
we're
like
gonna
chocolate
skip
milk.
that because it's only it isn't related
Listen,
to
we have
anything.
to
that we
answer
do.
each question,
No, we don't.
with the
Or
same
would you like to
mindset.
answer question number 12?
which is what?
BNHK.
Yes, that was mine. That's my answer to that question.
What?
All right.
Next question.
Will we add more replicas and or more monsters like the Scyphozoa to the game? Well, we basically answered this before that yes, we will be adding more monsters in the
Scyphozoa
future.
specifically? What do you think about the Scyphozoa, Kaz?
I think we answered this on the Discord, but
I think I can answer for him because I remember there's a French video creator that did a video on MRCL, and one people said, "Hey, don't worry, the secret of the I don't know how to say in English. It's too complicated. Can you choose a easier word?
say
for-
Meduse, I guess.
Yeah, so the Meduse will come out on the next update, and I showed it to Kaz, and Kaz was like, "Yeah." He said, "I wish."
So yeah, Kaz basically says, I want to add it, but it's very hard to do the model, the animations, and the mechanics. Which is true, because it is a very complicated monster. I also think that the Scyphozoa isn't... I've said this a lot, but the Scyphozoa isn't very, interesting. It's sort of a Deus Ex Machina kind of character in Code Lyoko, as in, it immobilizes Aelita, despite the fact that she can just run away. And it's immortal, which is kind of... I mean, I don't think we've ever seen it actually being defeated.
We've
properly.
seen one Scyphozoa die, and it was
Yeah.
during the skid draining,
Yeah?
where Jeremy overloaded it with
Don't
energy.
I think there's another one, but about
It
this-
was in the episode. It was in the episode of France Hopper. They also overloaded it then. The only way to kill it is with data, not with fighting.
Yeah, so, gameplay-wise, it's a little bit... I don't know. I think it's a little bit boring. But we are gonna try and add it if we can, but it's not gonna be soon.
because we are Code Lyoko server.
For replicas,
Well, we can't not
always.
have it.
Minecraft replica of Code Lyoko. When?
That's also the sort of the thing with MRCL, is there's things in the show that we want to add, but it's not very fun to use or to interact with
Or we need,
as a game.
or we need to change things a bit.
Yeah.
Also, this is an important thing to remind, but to do a little reminder. But since MSL is like a server that everyone can play, it's a bit of a sandbox. We need to do things differently.
Yeah.
What example do I have right now?
Lyoko warriors can make their own over vehicles. Everyone can deactivate towers.
Yeah.
Those sort of things.
You have to be able
Everybody's
to do it
Aelita.
or the way you want to do it.
Because if you're alone but you don't want to play Aelita, then this is kind of, well,
Yeah, it just sucks.
annoying. So yeah.
Yeah,
we need to
with
make some-
MRCL, it's really specific that we have created everything so that you can experience and do everything even if you're a solo player.
Yeah.
You can do it.
We don't want to hold anyone back only because there's no one on, or maybe they don't have anyone to play with. We want everybody to be able to experience the server irregardless of player count.
All right. Next question.
Next question is Will there be a
Oh, yeah, I
reliable
mean-
way to navigate New Sector 5? I understand it's a maze, but will we have some equivalent to Jeremy guiding the warriors through it? Sort of
Wait,
like warriors
it's a
and checkpoints.
maze?
No.
That was
So
it. Next
Good luck.
I made the I've heard a lot of comments about the current Sector 5, the one that's uploaded right now, that it's the easiest way to get, from sector to sector and stuff like that. It's not supposed to be that way.
Of
So-
course not.
Oh,
The
no.
people that I have put through New Sector 5, while it was, there was a time when New Sector 5 was almost completely functional, and then we had to move it and it stopped being functional. So fun. But
Yeah,
while it was still
everything.
functional, there was quite a bit of psychological horror from those who were going through it.
At this
Not too
point-
much, but a fun amount. A fun amount.
Why do you mean, oh, in a maze?
But I mean,
it's not
like-
even okay.
So yeah, basically, New Sector 5 is going to be harder to deal with it.
Yeah, there
Sort of.
won't be a lot of guidance. It's the same as with the Sector 5 when you
To
first
be
found
fair,
it.
yeah, it's always going to be that experience.
Like, you joined and you have no idea where you're going and you have to find your way through. And with
I
the current
swear
Sector
to
5,
God,
you could memorize your route, but in the future, good luck with that.
I still don't know how to get to the interface without going through the core. I don't know how. I don't understand.
Wow.
I can remember it took me ages to find the tower.
I did
still don't know
I did fix the tower problem in New Sector 5. So the tower will only appear when it's activated. At least that is my
Wow. Wow. That's really gonna make that one advancement much easier.
and it will. Well, listen, it appears so there are like, there are the key rooms, right? And then there are the paths out of the key rooms. So the tower appears in the paths out of the key room. So you have to get the key before the tower will appear, and it will appear on the route that leads out the sector. So you won't have to look for it. You'll run into it.
I feel like you started off like with the idea that this would make it easier for us to understand. Like oh, it's not that hard, but you just made it sound more complicated.
Okay, let me start over. It goes, you get virtualized in the arena, you find the key, and when you find the key, an exit out of the key room opens, and there is a linear path with no divergence that leads out of Sector 5, like to the elevator that takes you to the Celestial Dome. And on that path, there is a branch that goes off to the tower when it's activated.
All right.
So
it's
you
gonna
only have to
definitely
search.
be-
In short, you're going to get lost.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
the
only
new
have to
Sector
look for the
5
key.
is not going to be any more forgiving than the current one. In fact, it's going to be a lot harder, and there will not be any guidance to get through it.
It's gonna
So
be
good luck with
cooler,
that.
though.
And just want to say that this is not even the hardest version.
Yeah.
I did have one version. Where literally everything was completely randomized.
Yeah.
The architecture,
Yeah, I like that.
each room. Well, the problem with it was you had to force load the entire sector to keep it working. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you put it in the set word spawn, it should work, right?
I'm looking at it for the Sector 5 replica.
The next
All right, moving on to the
question-
next
Why
question
not?
is, are we going to be able to vert to, for example, Tower 8 in the forest when we want to? So essentially the question is,
Can we
can we
choose, just
specifically
to-
target where we want to be virtualized to?
I'll answer that. No.
Yeah,
There's
no.
a very simple reason for that. Oh, the tower 10 is
Oh,
activated, so I'll
actually-
virtualize the tower 10.
Actually, Jack, maybe we can.
Unless we do it like EFSCL.
You know, maybe we can, but with a certain thing.
I don't know.
I don't know if I can point or not, but
So, to give you an answer, we have not planned to allow any more precise virtualization as of this
Okay.
moment.
The reason that you can't do it now, that's maybe the best answer. The reason you can't do it now is because it would be very easy to virtualize near an activated tower. We could maybe do that, like in EFSCL, but then we'd have to have a better idea of where towers are. And currently that's a little bit... I mean, we could, but it would... Yeah. With over vehicles, it's not that big of a deal
or you
nowadays,
need
anyways.
or you need a complicated process to actually do that or something like.
Yeah, because
to get
also, like,
access
for
to
example,
this
in
thing.
desert... Yeah. Anyways, next question.
All right.
Do you plan to add dialogues with the NPCs?
Why not? But not now.
We have
It's one
we
of
have
those,
events with
nice
but
things that we could add, but is definitely not a priority on our development.
I don't think it's gonna add a lot of value if we add regular dialogues outside of events, because
Yeah.
you're just
Like,
gonna run
those
out of
games where you
dialogue
can talk to an NPCs and they only have those 3 lines that they keep repeating, so it's useless.
Yeah.
Don't see
If
any
we
value
find
in
an
that myself.
interesting point for that, like convincing Jim to let you outside or something, then maybe we'll do that. If it has an actual gameplay purpose, then
Mhm.
yes. But we don't have plans for it.
Lies, but next question.
What do you mean? What do you mean lies? Okay, Kaz disagrees with me.
Alright. Guys, you need to speak now. Stop fighting.
I seriously have not defeated anyone in Arena so far. Well, okay, but presumably that's gonna include actual gameplay dialogue. Kaz says it's planned for the routines expansion, which is never gonna happen. Okay, so to change the answer, yes, there will be dialogue. Most of it will probably be gameplay related, but they're probably going to be generic replies. Was that everything, Kaz? How to get Xanified? It's random. So the way Xana currently works is it has a set of attacks that it sorts based on difficulty. So the difficulty depends on how many people are in the server. So 1 to 2 people is super easy. So the more players are currently on the server, the stronger the attacks get. So Xanification is... there's 2 Xanification attacks right now. One is, I think, easy, which is like 4 players, and one is harder than multiple people get Xanified, which is... I don't know how many players that is. And then it just picks you randomly. So just play on the server enough and you'll be Xanified eventually.
Which
Next question.
honestly doesn't make much sense, because once your conscious is in the supercomputer, Xana shouldn't be able to, but it's because we don't have the psychophilia and stuff. We'll say this one.
To be fair, William was Xanified after he was rescued from Xana's control, and his
only by
data
the
is in the
Schizoa.
supercomputer.
But only by
Is
the
he?
Schizoa.
Was
be
he?
fair, oh, actually, I have to mention that you can't get Xanified while you're virtualized. You have to be on Earth to be Xanified, I think.
Yes, but you know, in an episode, there's
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, then there we go.
Yeah. That's the MRCL gameplay
Yeah, also, yeah.
balance there. Oh,
Fair.
Matty's here.
It's a fair answer.
All right. Our
I
next
have to give
question
Matty a supporter rank,
is: that are we planning to open a Bedrock alternative ourselves?
A what?
No.
A Bedrock alternative for MRCL. Are we planning to work on something like that?
We already talked about this.
Yeah, I know.
But to TLDR, no, we're not planning to do it. If we can make it so that you can join the Java server with Bedrock, then we will. But I wouldn't get your hopes on that one.
In
If
the
anyone wants
past,
to
we
do
tried a plugin that used a proxy or something, so you could join with Bedrock. But these days, we exploit so much of Minecraft that it would not be possible. So please don't suggest using the proxy plugin for us. We've tried it, right?
I mean, you can host your own proxy if you want, and do it that way. Like, you could use it, you could run it for yourself if you want to. And I'm gonna keep trying to make it work, but probably not. Probably better if somebody does it natively. So if somebody does do it natively, let us know and we'll like advertise you and stuff. I'll be very excited for that. Next question.
When will Minecraft's replica of Code Lyoko get more quests? They are super fun.
Well, we try to do it every anniversary, Christmas, Halloween, and maybe we'll do one in the summer this time, because we've been thinking about that as well. But in the
So
summer,
essentially, whenever we throw an event, there will be a quest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
there might, maybe, spoilers, there might be some kind of permanent quest related to the arcade in the future, after the event is done. Maybe.
Really? I'm not.
Maybe.
I don't even know. But
All right, moving on from the spoilers that no one heard. All right, cool. Yes, you didn't hear it from us.
Everyone go back like 10 seconds in the video.
Yeah, I know. Let me just disable DVR.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last question we have on the forums is that are you planning to add new minigames or new arenas? Which we
Well-
already answered, but to reiterate that one, and yes, we have planned to add more minigames and more arena variants to the game. And they will be upcoming as soon as our spec ops get to it.
well, at least we can see that you guys really love minigames. So
Yeah.
thanks.
But yeah, I definitely hope to add some smaller arenas to the game. Okay, well, that's all the questions we have from the forum. If you want to answer questions on stream, then you should probably ask them.
Yeah, now is
now before
your
we get bored.
time to get a direct contact from the high administration and stuff.
Not that we don't answer questions anyways. on
Yeah,
this-
but now is the best time because you can directly ask us.
I do like that we're, in general, especially since we made that update change, we're a lot more open about what we're working on and what we want to do.
Yeah. We do keep some updates secret, but that's only because we don't want to ruin the potential gameplay surprise that you'll get.
Yeah. In general, keeping updates secret is something Kaz started doing. Not to point any fingers. But we've kind of stepped away from that now.
Yeah.
But for events, we try to keep it a secret a little bit, because it's mostly the surprise factor that is cool about events. Like, who would have thought we would have like released an arena game mode? It's very, I don't know, different from what we did before. Wow, 10 actually won. Not again.
Hey,
What do
you're
you
not
mean,
supposed to
again?
mention that.
Hey, Oscar, there's a bug in the returning to from the arena. A bug.
A
You should.
But
I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but you should disable. You should put people back into adventure before you teleport them. Will we see Franz Hopper model soon? I remember seeing it in one anniversary trailer.
We are not
Well,
at liberty to disclose any
about
information
that.
related to
you
that.
mean Wait, is this one? No, it's not this one. Alright.
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
what I can say is that there
No,
was a
no,
reason.
you will not say anything.
No, I'll say. I'll say.
Hey,
We can talk about that.
the Franz Hopper model is used as the Cortex core, so
That
Yeah.
is true. No, but the reason it wasn't the anniversary trailer is because we had something planned at the time.
Yeah.
Which may or may not still happen in the future. But that was sort of, yeah, we still sort of remember that as something like, oh yeah, we put that in there, but then nothing happened with it. But like Dujin said,
Pretty
you
much.
can look at it in the Cortex if you survive the ninjas.
Oh,
That in mind, originally I myself wanted to add a story mode to MRCL, which still isn't out of the question.
As a, you know what? Shared mind. I
I
want
have
to do it.
I have
But,
plans for it
um,
actually.
Yeah. MRCL does have lore, but it's very vague and not too well defined.
Is there law?
I mean,
Well-
there's a specific time frame when MRCL
really.
does happen in the series.
Not really.
Yeah. Okay. We only said it's after season 4, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it is before, before killing Xana, but after discovering replicas.
Actually,
Yeah.
how did they explain the Lyoko codes in evolution? Was it because of Xana's defeat? Because in that case, that makes sense. But honestly, the reason we don't really focus on lore that much is just constricts what we can do gameplay wise.
Yeah.
Like we can't. It would be just lame to go like, oh, we can't add Cortex because it's the wrong time frame.
Yeah.
So the lore is imagined the way you want to imagine it. It doesn't really matter that much to us.
But if we do add a story mode, it would not restrict gameplay of the server itself in any way.
Yeah, that's also like quests are just they're.
Think of
lore-
IFSCL story mode.
Yeah, that's actually.
It's a separate thing that works on the same platform but doesn't restrict the free play, which is essentially the general server gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if
MRCL
we do
single
that,
player.
it would be something like that. Yeah.
What about that? You can rent MRCL server single player.
Yeah, with only $60, you can rent MRCL for 6 hours.
Honestly, not gonna lie, if somebody would be like, "Hey, I want to make a fan series on MRCL," we can't give out maps, but I wouldn't be like opposed to like renting out a server, a private MRCL server. That would be fine, actually. Thinking about that earlier. It's pretty chilling, but it's more like I don't mind people making fan shows on MRCL, but we don't give out the maps for obvious reasons. Like, we
Yeah.
don't want somebody to steal our work. That's basically it.
And that's one of the reasons why we don't allow any client-side mods on the server.
That also, well, also just because cheating.
Well, yeah. That being said, if you are somebody who feels the need to use mods that make your gameplay easier, then we just ask you to not join MRCL.
If you are a game optimizer.
But yeah,
there's-
we've been running the stream for a bit over 2 hours. So if you still have any questions on the chat, please ask them now, as we will start to close up the stream.
Do we have anything more to show?
Do we have anything we can tease them with?
Oh, can we tease something? Or is it?
Yeah,
Pretty
exactly.
sure we just released all the content we actually have anything for with this update. Well,
I'm
not
thinking
really.
about what we could say and or show that could potentially spoil something we have upcoming, but wouldn't give out too much.
Not really.
Hmm.
They basically showed all the old videos.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I could send out the. It'd be a rehash of like the tower preview video that I did.
Well, yeah, if we showed the tower preview on stream, that'd be great.
Hey, why
Let me grab the link for that because it's unlisted.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, give it to me.
I'll put
So
it in
you'll
the
be one of
staff
the
channel.
first people on the stream to see our upcoming tower rework. That's
Unless you were a supporters.
Yeah.
There's also people always ask about the music in MRCL.
yeah. Well, we've answered that before, haven't we? About
True,
the
but
resource pack size.
So we have for many of these questions.
Yeah.
About music in the resource pack.
Yeah. I'm still adding some. Like recently, I did some work on it. I'm just waiting for it to be pushed on the resource pack. But I'm slowly trying to add music.
The reason that we don't like add tons of music is mostly just because people already have issues downloading the resource pack as it is. So that's why there's not a lot. But we are also, I mean, we also thought about adding it as like an add-on where you could download an extra resource pack.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's legally questionable. Not sure
What do you
about that.
mean legally?
Well, copyright and stuff. Well, MRCL is also legally questionable, that's true.
Yeah.
But just providing a zip with songs that are copyrighted is a lot different than, it's not really a transformative work. Yeah, but it's not Kaz is saying that MRCL is already questionable, but
Yeah, we are.
but it is
fine.
sort of a transformative work. We do actually do something with it.
So in
Alright.
short, I'm guessing that I'll continue adding music to the main resource pack, and when it becomes too
large.
too large in the pack, we'll move probably those in an add-on pack sort of thing.
Yeah.
I sent a video in staff channel.
Yeah.
Alright.
It would be nice to have the ID turning to the tower theme when we are very near the activated tower. That was actually not.
Well, that's a valid suggestion.
It does also. So the link that I sent, I think it links to a playlist.
Yeah, I removed the thing in the link.
Yeah.
Alright. I have it.
Alright, so what you're about to see is unreleased footage of an upcoming tower update.
Well, I wouldn't call it unreleased, but it's...
Well, it is unreleased. It's just shown to some supporters.
It might have been an MRCL insider. No, let me look back and see. I do have one that I haven't shown to anybody. But it's...
Is this, how are you mitigating lag?
Yeah, okay.
In this one?
In the tower?
Yeah, like the particle effects. They're blocks, right? That's how you do it.
Yeah, they're blocks.
Right.
And I recently had, we haven't figured out what blocks we're going to use in the final version, but...
I do really like this animation.
I've had ideas.
It's gonna be great once we add that.
Definitely.
Sound effects as well. I forgot about this, to be honest. If you look back at like the anniversary video, the towers are also so different, so like tiny.
All right.
And these are even bigger.
These are bigger on the inside.
We have on the stream for now. Yep. Have any closing thoughts that you'd like to share?
I hope the next one isn't in 3 years. I hope we'll do this.
Yeah,
soon.
maybe we'll have like a regular podcast using the stage channels on the server itself. That being said, if you aren't on our Discord server, I urge you to join. That's the best way you're gonna get informed of any MRCL related news.
It's also
and
very
updates.
useful if you get banned or something. Yeah, in general, join the Discord. It's basically we don't we don't force people to link their Minecraft to Discord because it's inconvenient. It's annoying. But we'd appreciate it if you were in the Discord anyways.
Yeah, it is where we post our news and where you can get support regarding anything on the server. And it is in general just a good place where you can like network with people and find new friends to play on the server with.
Yeah, I do think our Discord server is a lot of people hang around Discord more than they hang around Minecraft. Because we're just more than just a Discord server for Minecraft support.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joining our Discord is completely free, and
Or now.
all right.
Yeah. All right.
Do our Spec Ops have anything they'd like to say to our lovely stream?
Or moderators, I don't know.
Great metrics.
Prepare for hell, Matrix says. Okay, well.
All right.
So far, our moderators.
Well, this has been our 4th anniversary questions and answers live stream, and stay tuned for more updates on the gameplay, minigames, monsters. We have a bunch of stuff that's definitely coming out in the future.
Like
Join the
and
Discord
subscribe.
for amazing updates and
Boost our server.
give us your soul. I don't
Join
know.
us on Patreon. Donate on our Ko-Fi.
Ring the bell for
End
notifications.
the stream, and it's gonna be cringe anyways.
I know. I do want to note that it is amazing how much we've grown. Because, like, at first, there was less than 100 members on the server when I joined, definitely. And how many members are we on the server right now? Let's check.
1,800.
We are on 1,832 members. We've grown significantly. And, yeah, just thank you for being there for our server. We wouldn't have the server if there weren't people to play on it, honestly. So it's great that people care.
Ivan, we don't want to give you money. Stop asking. For the last time.
Alright. Take care and see you in a year, hopefully.
Yeah.
See you. Oh, wow.
Okay, goodbye.
Alright. Bye! Alright, I've ended the stream. You can close it on your end, Alex.